Hi there, welcome to AVAX Wyckoff Technical Analysis section. So, in the past few weeks we have been covering AVAX, and now eventually AVAX has launched. The price surged significantly this week, and let's quickly take a look and see at this stage where it seems to have launched from the accumulation phase to the distribution cycle. Where is it heading, and what can we expect from Avalanche? Let's take a look. In the weekly chart here we can see previously we put in tag over here saying it's probably 75% towards the PSY and 25% towards the test, and based on the actions this week that it has passed the key level of $29.30. It has passed this stage of backup and last point of support. It's not going to the test. It's basically has confirmed it has entered the PSY period. So compared to what we have here back in October 2024, from basically late September, it has kind of like a platform period, and then it took a dip, did its final shakeout, and then that's where it launched to the new buying climax. So what we're hoping to see here from a macro perspective is after this platform period we had along this upward trend support line, this will eventually continue to go up to challenge, hopefully, the blue key level of $54.05. However, the challenge is, if you haven't seen my previous sessions, is this downward trend line, this dashed white line over here. This line is, in my theory, it's a declining peak. So meaning one peak lower than the other. What's the implication then? That's basically a declining long-term value, not only for the people that are the diamond hands, but also even if you are a speculator, if you're just riding in and out, that's not a good sign, because if this time the buying climax or the upthrust ended up lower than this line, basically when it hits this line it returns to close under the line. Similar sense over here, they broke above that trend line but then immediately retreat and close below it. So that's the worry I have for Avalanche. If it successfully break this line and go challenge the blue key level of $54.05, that's good news, because at least the buying climax or upthrust ending here means it stayed more or less the same as the peak back in December 2024, and the long-term value, at least we can tell, is, I would say, preserved. The long-term value challenge seems to have disappeared, but obviously we need more peaks to tell whether that's the case. But at least for this cycle, it's a positive sign if it really challenged the blue key level over here. So that's the big picture. Going to the daily, looking at the micro, we see the clear climb over here where I've already tagged previously, hey, 75% heading towards the upthrust, and even if it comes down today, this point is already an upthrust, so there's no doubt about it. So this is not 75% anymore. It's just whether is it going to end here at the yellow key level, or is it going to end here or even higher. So this is confirmed. This going to the downside we can take out already. So this, if it continues to go up, basically here, if it continues to go head higher, obviously this will continue as well. Just that when there's retracement, there's something I call the concept of AR2. So automatic response, you have if you have checked what Wyckoff pattern is the stage after the buying climax. So the reason I term it as AR2 over here is because I believe there's similar retracement after the price reaching another peak. Let's say here is the upthrust, and then later if there's an upthrust distribution, there will be an AR3. So in this way you can understand what I'm referring to, and like without introducing any new terms over there, and not to mix up with the AR that comes after the buying climax. So yeah, just simple and straightforward. And then in terms of volume, these two red bars over here, I don't think there's worry about it. I believe those are profit taking, or some people basically believe, okay, that's the resistance, let's sell over there. But then there are more going in, buying that dip over there, thinking the price would go even higher. That's probably not wrong, given it's only starting to get into the distribution phase. Ideally, it's going to head to the upside even more before any form of retracement. One caveat is, during the PSY period, there can be fluctuations. So this over here, straight 5 weeks upwards, or this over here 3 weeks, well, basically not 3 weeks, there was like a consolidation period right there. You can call that backup or last point of support, but still, what I'm trying to point out is the PSY period may not always be upward, like price rise candles. Like they can fluctuate in between. So there can be candles that goes up, and then at a certain stage it can trade sideways and it can do some swings. Then in the daily it would look very crazy, because if it goes up continuously, probably we'll see more white candles with little tiny red candles, right? But if it really start to swing during the PSY period, that would mean in the daily chart it goes up, got rebound, and then bounce up again, and then comes down again, doing this kind of roller coaster activity in the daily. So it would look a lot more wild. So let's check over here. Even if it was like what we see in the weekly chart, right? It's straight 5 white candles, and then here what we see is a bunch of white candles and then a little bit of sideways, some long white candles, and then sideways again. So be prepared. If you're trading frequently, that can happen. Whatever we see in the weekly only applies if you swing trade in the weekly time frame, meaning if you enter your price here, you let your stop loss stay somewhere around that level, and then eventually the price goes up, and then you keep pushing up week after week or every few days, you eventually got like forced to take profit when the price comes down. But if you're trading more frequently at a daily time frame or even lower, that means when you adjust your stop loss, there is a chance when it gets to these kind of periods, you may force to take profit even earlier. So that's the key point I want to bring out while we are in the PSY period. So while the long-term trend or medium trend seems to be upward, but be mindful of the intermediate fluctuations during that rise. And then eventually after the buying climax, obviously we would expect automatic reaction. That's where the retracement was. So similar sense, if the price go to an upthrust, expect an AR2, upthrust after distribution, AR3, but it's too early right now, so I don't want to put the AR3 there without knowing whether it would happen that way. So last thing I want to check, Bollinger Band Kotner squeeze. Obviously after the price climb in the past few days, the squeeze forces is being released. So you see this squeeze period over here with this shade at the back. I would consider the squeeze happened much earlier, around mid-August. But anyway, the important part is when the squeeze started and heading towards this side, this can be something that, if we refer to here, the squeeze happened and then it started to shoot up. So we've got 4 candles right here, right? So 4 candles. If it doesn't end, this purple line will continue to deviate from the orange, while the candlesticks will lean along this path to get even higher before some form of retracement happen. So I guess that's the interesting bit where we're seeing the force being released, this pressure, the squeeze pressure being released, and then eventually the price go to test the higher key levels. So while there is a bit of profit taking or like people selling already with this long wick, the volume isn't that crazy. It's been declining, so there may be horizontal trading for the next few days, and then who knows, maybe the next pump is near and it will challenge or even go above the 33.9 key level. So hopefully it goes to test the blue key level 54.05 and doesn't just end somewhere around the green or the light blue key level. That's for AVAX. Thanks for joining me. Good